The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Remittances hit an all-time high in 2022 as overseas Filipinos sent more money to their families back home who are struggling with soaring prices. Data from the Bangko Sentral show that cash remittances jumped by 3.6% to $32.54 billion last year. This figure exceeded the previous record of $31.42 billion in 2021. In December alone, remittances increased by 5.8% to $3.16 billion. The Bangko Sentral said the expansion in remittances was due to the growth in receipts from both land-based and sea-based workers. Economists said that besides the holiday season, high inflation may have also prompted OFWs to send more money to help their families. Inflation accelerated to 8.1% in December 2022, bringing full-year CPI to 5.8%. The Bangko Sentral says its capitalization goal could be delayed if the proposed Maharlika investment bill is passed in its current form. During a Senate hearing on the Sovereign Wealth Fund, BSP Deputy Governor Francisco Daquila said it would take more time for the bank to reach its target of 200 billion pesos. This is because the BSP would be required to remit 100% of its dividends for 2 years once the MIF is passed. Francisco noted, though, that the central bank will be able to tolerate the delay as its balance sheet has improved. Still, several groups continue expressing their opposition to the current version of the controversial measure. Meanos Baños with the report.
The Foundation for Economic Freedom is pushing for the Marcos administration to reconsider using state-run financial institutions as sources of funding for the Maharlika Investment Fund to arrest a possible fallout. The FEF explained that the investment from the Development Bank of the Philippines and the Land Bank of the Philippines will be so huge that once the MIF value goes down, it will not only affect the two government banks but the banking system itself.
Maaaring mag-spread po yan, contagion to the rest of the banking system. Lalo na po ito the banking system, and therefore they are subjected to all sorts of financial crisis and financial panic.
As it is, the current version of the Sovereign Wealth Fund states that the LBP would be contributing 50 billion pesos as initial capital for the Maharlika, while the DBP would inject 25 billion pesos. The Economic Advocacy Group also expressed worries on tilting the playing field once the MIF is passed with provision that it will be exempted from taxes. According to them, this will give an unfair advantage that may discourage investors.
An uneven playing field will dampen rather to improve the investment climate. So instead of marami pong investments ang papasok, mas maaring ma-deter po yung mga legitimate investors sapagkat nakikita nila na hindi po level yung playing field.
Senate Committee on Banks, Financial Institutions, and Currencies Chairman Senator Mark Villar explained that the MIF is tax-free since the money will go directly to social-civic projects. The Land Bank Administration likewise ensured that they have enough investable funds, which stands at 1.3 trillion pesos. But these figures did not sit well with Senator Win Gatchalian.
So I'm actually not impressed to hear that there is 1.5 trillion lying around not being lent to our agriculture sector. Modernizing needs a lot of capital. How come there's 1.3 trillion lying around and not being plowed into the agriculture sector?
Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel, on the other hand, wishes that the bill would be polished before it reaches Senate hearings.
I hope this is not rushed. Whatever you can cure, please cure. What is the real reason why we are entertaining this proposal? Where will the funds come from? What will be the role of this corporation? Yung mga safeguards.
The Committee on Banks is set to continue its hearing on the Maharlika Fund in the weeks to come. Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News Now. And we're still watching One News Now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Local shares little change at the start of the trading day this Thursday. Swinging between gains and losses here really as we start the trading day earlier before we started a broadcast, at least it was on the upside here. However, as you can see now, the main index on the downside here at 6,819, extending losses, of course. Now, in a Senate hearing, that comes ahead, of course, of the policy meeting of the Bangko Sentral later today. In a Senate hearing, you have BSP Deputy Governor Francisco Daquila Jr. saying that they are likely to revise upward their 2023 inflation projection of 4.5%. It's after January print turned out hotter than expected at 8.7%. Analysts are mixed already as to how the BSP is going to move later today. Some projecting a 50 beep hike while others are calling a 25 beep bump up. Looking at how some specific stocks are performing, let me just refresh this one very quickly here. Looking like a mixed bag still, of course, as we start the trading day with the Boites Equity Ventures and LT Group at least starting the day on the upside here, as well as ICTSI on the downside. However, you can see Metro Pacific losing, shedding base much as 3% here, as well as another conglomerate, San Miguel, also starting the day in the red. But I want to focus on BPI here for a minute. That's after they did announce that they are appointing Lance Gokongwei to their advisory council. This as the merger between BPI and Robinsons Bank progresses. BPI again set to absorb the Gokongwei Bank, pending approvals, of course, from the Competition Commission, the BSP, and the SEC. The merger is expected to boost BPI's position as the surviving entity. However, as you can see now, at least BPI is flat. It did start the day a bit in the red here, but again, BPI now at 106 apiece. Lastly, let's have a quick check at the peso here, starting the day here with a bit of a weakening here, now at 55 spot 270, poised to actually hit its lowest in over a month. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis, and you can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Jess De Los Santos. Join us again at 11:15 a.m. We are One News, all sides, all the time.